In moments such as this, when, like a ruthless terrorist, life separates my lashes and exposes a crimson hued eye, I try to capture the little curves and edges of objects, and while, like caked brick, her thighs absorbed with sandy precision the afternoon light, I watched, or I tried not to miss. So we must, looking back on an opalescent evening light, fighting dull fluorescence, put our fingers on a sullen brow, a gesture suppressing a half escaped syllable, and many more movements that escape inevitably, a layer of dust separating keen vision from reality, our pale hands, with both hands fiddling her nuke. When she tried to pin her hair into a chignon, I should have noted the blob of her breasts, or an oblique look of habit, or better yet, the levitation of an anklet. But I did not prod thus. Thus I play with raids, a game of charades. At once, time started to melt. A burning passion can overpower a sickly and cowardly voice of the mind, as European dukes testify with comical pride. And what has been an existence of costive dives into a state of benumbed suffering becomes a truth so obvious that once we lose it, as we invariably do, it has escaped without a trace, without any valid image for us to deify. We chase the events that led up to it, purely pseudo images, since bliss is always coincidental and like nature never repeats his ways, with the limp of a castrated dog. That time itself had been escaped, that the creation of a time map would have been impossible at such a moment of tingle and passion, because coordinates of time, yesteryear, the eve of an expected betrayal, is what allows time to exist, and in existing enslave us does not occur to us. I have an umbrageous foreboding that all this has been said before and said better. All was fine, I think. I like to remember, and this is integral to what we, dear reader, you and I have so far talked about. How Sumira sat down. Was it, as bland logic tastelessly, predictably, coherently suggests, a relieved resignation, which would mean that no sooner had her bottom, not the slightest bit wet, descended to sit on the sofa, it had, with a thud, placed itself, wriggled and rested? Or had it been a conflation of premises? As much as the present author wishes to crown his theme of chance and chaos, he must admit that he simply does not remember if Sumira descended relieved of extraneous company or if she was completely free of guilt. But she did sit, I remember it, yes. The reader mustn't confuse a kurta with a kimono or with a sari. A kurta is thus discurtained. The downward extension towards both sides is to be simply ignored and turned headwise, either directly or by interruption in the process, whereas similitude to a modern t-shirt can be, even in passion, observed, and lo, the specimen looks identical to a smudged hussy. I was mad in her arms. I was bleeding with time. She looked simply divine.